to win, you have to take risks.
You have to be crazy enough to think that it's possible. That's how you beat the fucking odds. That's how you create something worth living or dying for. When you truly believe, everything else will figure itself out.
I got a special talent.
Yes, you do. And it takes talent to make money, but it takes brains to keep it, Miles.
You want to become a billionaire, then you have to think like a billionaire. Billionaires do not think about pennies and cents and dollars. They think big, and they think of ways of getting there. It's a mindset.
I was raised to believe if you don't go to school, you can't get a good job. I hadn't gone to school. I didn't have a good job. I owned the whole company. So then I started to think, I wonder how many things I believe are not true. Most people that are teaching don't know what they're teaching. 80% of the people that teach have never done what they're teaching. That's the purpose of life, to overcome ignorance, develop awareness. The only way to overcome ignorance is through knowledge. And the only way to get the knowledge is to study. Most people, they finish school, close the book, say, that's over. I'm never going to open another book as long as I live. They're screwed. It's all over. Smart's got nothing to do with it. They have shifted their paradigm. They've knocked the wall down, and they built an image, and they followed the rules. They just didn't know what they were doing. I didn't know what I was doing. I was earning over $1 million a year. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. What I was doing, I was reading this every day. I was listening to the recordings every day. I was reprogramming my subconscious mind.
To live the good way, you have to live the hard way for a while, right? I get to say I'm blessed to buy my childhood home. I have a farm in New York. I have the house of my dreams. I fly in a private plane. I'm 56 years old. I've been hustling every day of my life since I was 14. Time and hustle and failure and getting kicked in the teeth and what you do in the invisible when you think you're going to lose it. I don't think I can make this. I don't know if this one's going to work out. I over-leveraged myself. What if it doesn't happen? I put all my money in this thing. It's like you need all of that to season a man or a woman that can actually handle that level of success. You have to pay your success tax. It's as simple as that. There's no fast path.
This guy stopped me at a stoplight. He was like, hey, Goggins, why am I not getting better? I'm a big-time goal setter. I run half Ironmans. I run half marathons. I go for that new promotion at work. Why am I not getting better? I asked him a question. Do you have fear of not reaching those goals? He said no. Okay, that's your problem. You're setting goals you know you can reach. And when you do that, that fear, that insecurity, that doubt, that's where you grow. He's not getting that. You must always set goals that you think you cannot achieve. And then there you get better.
If you're afraid, don't do it. If you're doing it, don't be afraid.
If you give yourself 30 days to clean your house, it will take you 30 days. But if you give yourself 3 hours, it will take 3 hours. This means that work expands to fill the time available. So ask yourself a really hard question. Should this thing take 3 hours? Or am I just allowing it to? Every minute that you save is another dollar in your pocket.
This is a problem. If you don't even know what you want, if you cannot write down right now on a piece of paper, this is what I want. If you can't list them, this is what I want, then you can't have it. Because your mind will get for you what you want, but you have to feed it a vision of what you're looking for.
It's not okay to work your life away, but it is okay to work your 20s and your 30s away.
You should push yourself beyond your limits of tolerance in your 20s to find out where it is.
You have the capacity to bounce back from it. You can take bigger risks and move back in with your parents if you need to.
How much can you work? How disciplined can you become? Like, can you work 12 hours a day? Can you work 8 hours a day? Can you work 3 hours a day? Like, flat out. Where's your limit?
A wise person once said, great minds discuss ideas. Average minds discuss events. Small minds discuss people. See, great minds can see into the future. Average minds can't see beyond the present. And small minds stay stuck in the past. What idea did you discuss today?
Do you have any experience?
No, sir, I have no experience, but I'm a big fan of money. I like it. I use it. I have a little. I keep it in a jar on top of my refrigerator. I'd like to put more in that jar. That's where you come in.
I say be happy with what you got.
You'll be happy. Me, I want what's coming to me.
Oh, well, what's coming to you?
The world, Chico. And everything in it.
The rich trust their vision and doubt their fear. The poor doubt their vision and trust their fear.
Look around this room right now and notice everything you can see that's brown, okay? Everything you can find, some test. Look all around, both sides of you, anything you see that's brown. People at home, look at that in your own room. What you see is brown. Okay, close your eyes. Okay. Tell me everything you just saw that was red. Now, obviously, you saw a lot more brown, didn't you? Yeah. Why? Because you're looking for it. Open your eyes. Now look for red. Look for red anywhere you can find red. Any place you can find red.
Okay.
Okay? Did you find more red this time? How come?
Because I was looking for red.
That's right. Once you develop a belief, you find what supports it. So watch this. You will find stuff that's not even there in order to be successful. I bet you saw some beige, called it brown just to feel successful, did you?
Right over there.
I bet you saw some things burgundy and called them red just so you could feel successful. If you think you're screwed up, you're messed up, you're going to find and you're going to color yourself that way. If you think someone else is a jerk, whatever you believe is self-evident. You reinforce what you believe. You found what you were looking for.
Now, fear is going to be a player in your life, but you get to decide how much. You could spend your whole life imagining ghosts, worrying about the pathway to the future, but all there will ever be is what's happening here, and the decisions we make in this moment, which are based in either love or fear.
One of the core secrets of success is this. The conscious mind can only hold one thought at a time, positive or negative. If you want to get rid of a negative thought, the mind is not like a vacuum. It doesn't stay empty. If you want to get rid of a negative thought, you have to knock it out, if you like, with a positive thought. Replace anything that's holding you back, any fear of failure, lack, poverty, rejection, loss, or anything else. The key to your success in life is to use the power of your subconscious mind to program it with thoughts, words, pictures, ideas, and feelings consistent with high performance, and keep your mind on what you desire and off of what you fear. Remember, the only thing in the world you can control is your thinking. The only thing in the world you can control are your conscious thoughts, and if you will do that, everything else will become possible for you.
Why does it always come to money?
Why not? I mean, everything you got on costs money. Everything you do costs money.
When you don't have money, you don't realize. Like, think about right now, if someone grabbed your throat and squeezed it, what would you think about? The only thing in the world is oxygen.
Yeah,
right?
getting free.
How do I get more in?
Getting free.
Right? But you're not thinking about it right now because it's abundant. It's not on your mind. But what you don't realize is when money is lacking in your life, it focuses all the time. I would do that for my kids, but I can't. I'd love to take that vacation, but I can't. I'd love to do my own thing. I'm sick of this unfulfilled job, but I can't. I'd love to be at every baseball game, but I can't. It all boils down to money. I don't care what anybody says. You have the money, you're in control of your decisions, you're in control of your calendar. So I didn't realize I spent so much of my life with the throat being choked, but it was money, and I watched that's how my parents lived. I can't go to the baseball game. I can't put the window in the back of the car. We got to get evicted from this trailer because we don't have what? We don't have money. Right? I'd love to say that we live in this perfect world, that you don't need money to have choices in your life, but in most cases you don't.
If you want to do anything great, it has to become your one true priority. It has to become your number one overwhelming desire, because nobody accidentally got rich. Nobody accidentally built a great physique. Instead, they were obsessed with it for multiple years until they no longer had to think about it. It just became their baseline. It's who they were at that point. Just think about it. If you want to get rich, do you really think that you're going to achieve that without having your life revolve around it until you achieve it? That's why most people don't achieve anything.
There's a quote that I've fallen in love with. The magic you are looking for is in the work you're avoiding. Do you ever think about the weird shit that you do when you're procrastinating from the thing you're supposed to do? Yeah. Like, I have an essay or an email to write that I don't want to write. I need to reply to someone and it's an awkward conversation or something like that. And guess what? Now my cupboard sources are perfectly aligned. Yeah. Like, you will find the most inventive ways to not do the thing. I fell in love with an essay by Strangest Loop, and it is a list of things that are not doing the thing. So here is a list of things that are not doing the thing. Preparing to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Scheduling time to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Making a to-do list for the thing isn't doing the thing. Telling people you're going to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Messaging friends who may or may not be doing the thing isn't doing the thing. Writing a banger tweet about how you're going to do the thing isn't doing the thing. Hating on yourself for not doing the thing isn't doing the thing. Hating on other people who have done the thing isn't doing the thing. Hating on the obstacles in the way of you doing the thing isn't doing the thing. Fantasizing about all of the adoration you'll receive once you do the thing isn't doing the thing. The only thing that is doing the thing is doing the thing. And I love this insight that you can dress it up however you want. The work just needs doing. And you can fluff it and you can change it and you can talk about compounding. But ultimately, it comes down to sitting at the desk and answering the email, opening the Word document, recording the podcast. And one of the things that I've found is a really great hack for me, I would have no success as a YouTuber that I've had being a podcaster because I work well when I have someone else in front of me. Like, I would clean my room at home if mum came and sat and like just watch or talk to me, right? Because I just didn't want to fucking do something that sucked on my own. Being a YouTuber and staring down the lens, hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to fucking do whatever we're going to do. I really, really struggle with that. Sitting down with someone else in front of me, that makes it easy. So there are ways that doing the thing can become more easy, but ultimately the work just needs doing. Steven Pinker's idea of the curse of knowledge, that when you start to learn things you can't understand, that other people don't know it, and you also lose the learner's mind in some regard, which is you're not lucky. You said about you come into this room and there's a million bits of information that you could be focusing on, but you're not focusing on those, you're focusing on the ones that matter. And I think that when you start to kid yourself that you know what you're talking about, you're no longer quite as open to these new ideas. So Mark Manson put this quote up a few months ago, and I've not been able to stop thinking about it. The most important question to ask is, what pain do you want in your life? What are you willing to struggle for? Anything worthwhile is going to require some degree of pain and struggle. So, if you're oriented toward the pain and the struggle, you're probably going to be more aligned with what you're capable of accomplishing rather than if you just orient toward the pleasures. This great quote from Alex that says, you've already achieved goals that you said would make you happy.
Yeah.
And that encapsulation of the hedonic treadmill in a single tweet, I think, is so interesting. So his business partner, Charlie Munger, says, the first rule of compounding is never interrupt it unnecessarily.
Yeah.
So this is the other side, right? You must sweat the small stuff, but when you are sweating the small stuff, stop fucking about with it, right? Are you on a path? It's the same for me. Like, a lot of the questions and stuff that we've had over the last year is like, what are you going to do next? What are you going to change? What's the next project? A big part of me is like, everything is so vertical, like line go up and to right, which I know that you know the feeling of. I really don't want to touch too much. This doesn't mean that we're not looking at different ideas. You've got this is a different way of shooting things. It's in a much smaller room. We're actually trying some different angles. We're shooting on different cameras, blah, blah, blah. But it's not a massive change, right? The first rule of compounding is never interrupt it unnecessarily. There's a story from Sam Harris that I love, which kind of takes this from the business marketing into the personal development space. And he says, after you finished a workout, CrossFit or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or intervals or whatever, and you're laid on the floor panting, making a sweat angel, you've got the taste of metal in the back of your throat and you're hot and the vision's blurry, everything, right? That's sent to yourself. How on earth do you think that you're going to be able to move mountains and get out of that relationship that you don't like and move countries or change career when you can't not hit snooze, even though last night you promised yourself that you weren't going to hit snooze? And it's how people that are able to do extraordinary things have been able to get there, that they've just started off unbelievably small, right? I'm just not going to hit the snooze button. I'm just not going to use my phone before 9 a.m., right? Controlling your thoughts is unbelievably difficult and requires a lot of meditation and maybe psychedelics. Controlling your actions is relatively easy, especially stuff like don't pick your phone up before you've gone for a walk. Just try that in the morning. Sunlight before screen light, as Huberman says. How you do anything is how you do everything is a lovely quote and a lovely idea. But it piles an awful lot of pressure on you, right? And it's very easy, especially as we said, it's more socially acceptable to be our own biggest critic than our own biggest, complimentary. Given that, if you mess up a little bit, that can quite quickly spiral. Chris said that I shouldn't check my phone before I go for a walk in the morning. Therefore, it means that I might not as well go to the gym, and I might as well break my alcohol streak, and all of these other things. Yeah. Finding this balance of being robust enough and delicate enough with yourself to say, okay, I know that you tried well, let's get back on the horse again tomorrow, right? It's a delicate balance, right? Holding yourself to high standards whilst also being sufficiently supportive, right? There are people that have imposter syndrome, which I call imposter adaptation, which is Your imposter syndrome persists despite the fact that you've disproven it at this very thing. It would be like every single time that you did a podcast, you being adamant it was going to be terrible and you were going to fluff your words and shit yourself